Welcome to Date Like a French Woman, the podcast where we approach dating as a sacred healing journey rather than a quest.
Are you a person who has a dream, no matter what that dream is? And do you find yourself maybe when you are going to start to act toward your dream, some kind of crisis consistently happens in your life and it stops you on your tracks? Or it may even make you go backwards on your way to your dream? If that is you, you want to stay tuned today because in each crisis, there is a hidden message. And it is important for you to discover it. Welcome to this first new episode of Date Like a French Woman, the podcast, live on Facebook. If you are joining us on replay, still come and say hi, put a comment. I always come back and answer and reply. Or you can send us some hearts. I decided to go and do the recording of the podcast now live every Monday. So if you're listening to that on audio on iTunes or anywhere else you are usually listening to, come and join us next time at facebook.com/date like a French woman. If you are not familiar with who I am, my name is Murielle, and I am a sacred dating teacher as well as a transformation and self-love coach. And every week I come with an episode to bring you to connect, first of all, because I love connecting with you. That's my passion, to connect and help. And to bring you some tools and tips to make your love life better. And of course, it transpires to any other area of your life. If you know someone who could benefit from the kind of tools and tips that I share, please share it with them. Let them know either that it's on Facebook or that it is on iTunes or wherever you are listening. Share, share, share. We want to reach as many people as possible because ultimately, the more we can help each other be happy and fulfilled, the more it will transpire in our society, in our world as a whole. Another thing I wanted to say is, if you come in the middle of the show, or I've said it already, say hi. I would love to see that you're there. You can interact with us any way you want. And if you're listening to that podcast on audio, just know that I may answer some questions that will be posed here live. And of course, I will read the questions for you. And you can continue listening anywhere you want, in any way you want. Today's topic, life crisis. Let me tell you, first of all, why it came to my mind. I don't know, if you are a regular on my podcast, you know that last week I missed an episode. I missed last week because I was in such a bad shape. I suffer from backache and hip problems, and on and off. And last week, I was so bad that I had to sleep on the floor, literally. I put my yoga mat. I'm going to put a picture on Facebook of how I was sleeping last week. I put my yoga mat on the floor and I put my legs at a 90-degree angle on my chair while sleeping on the floor. And that was the only thing that helped with the pain. Because as you know, if that's the first time that you come across myself, I have a condition where I cannot take anything for pain, any medication, even over the counter. So I was in agony. I couldn't function normally. I couldn't, I was irritable. You didn't want to be around me last week. No. As my kids and my family who's here from France, they were suffering from seeing me so miserable. Thank God I'm better this week. But I know that things happen in life, but I also know that things don't happen randomly. And from my own life, I could see a trend that every time my business is expanding, for example, because that's what's happening right now, something happens and very often some kind of crisis happen. I'm in pain usually. As you know, I have my business, my love life, my kids, a lot of areas like you in my life. And when I was in such pain last week, I tried to see what is the crisis that is behind, no, what is the message behind the crisis? Hi there. What is the message? I can't see your name. So if you want to say hi, you can put your name and say a cuckoo here. Oh, Terry. Hi, Terry. So what is the message? What could be the symbol behind the pain that I was experiencing? Because everything I did, the only thing I had at my disposal to lower the pain was essential oil and my mind. And let me tell you, I was oiling myself right and left, and it did help. But because it's a problem with my disc and I have an injury in my hip, that helped to a certain level, and then I was back in pain again. So when you look at pain, and we know that the expert on that was Louise Hay, may she rest in peace. She even wrote a book about that every single physical symptom would correspond to something that is unresolved, to an emotion. And she came up with affirmations to help you here. So today we're going to do that, but we're going to go further. What we're going to do is, so let's take my pain, for example. Lower back is about support. What in my life, where in my life I didn't feel supported? And what can I do to feel more supported? How can I change in my life the way I do things, maybe to be more supported? Now, hip. I'm in pain every time I do a rotation and I don't control the way I do it. And that's every day, not even only during crisis, but every day. So I started interrogating myself, investigating with rotation, change of direction. And what I discovered is the symbol was about change of direction. I said, you go and you examine what could be the symbol behind your crisis. For me, it was change of direction, and it could be that with my business, I was spreading myself in all kinds of directions, which is the symptom for a fear, underlying fear that maybe I cannot succeed with the one thing I do. So I try to divert my awareness to many directions and try to control the outcome. That would be the symbol. I'm going to give you another example of one of my students. As we were working on self-confidence in my class, we discovered doing exercises to really go deep inside and make what is under the surface, bring some light on it. We discovered that in her love life, she was in a situation where the boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, was trying to hurt her. He was coming at her with ways to hurt her. So I asked her how it made her feel. And of course, it made her feel unsafe. Which brings me to the next question you need to ask yourself when you are in a life crisis. What could be the belief? What is the belief that created that situation? Because as you know, we have a part in our brain that's called the reticular activating system, which acts like a filter. And if you want more details on that, just put a comment here. I can send you an episode where I go in depth explaining that. And I also explain it in my free classes online. That filter will, because there is too much information coming at us at any time, and our brain is not powerful enough to record and register everything and take everything in. So at any time, you have like a matchmaker, a filter in your brain that says, okay, this is relevant, this is not, we don't want to make her aware of that. This, yes, let it in. It will match your inner world where all your models of the world are stored, your beliefs about who you are, what you deserve, what is possible for you, what is possible in the world are stored. And the outside world, it's here to bring coherence. So you will notice in the world, choose in the world, and behave in a way that is coherent with your beliefs. That is crucially important. If you come out today with only one thing, is that thing that you need to know. So let's go back to my student. She had a situation where an old boyfriend was coming at her in a way to hurt her. What could be the belief that could have made her choose that partner earlier in her life and behave in such a way that he was able to do that? We came to the conclusion that that could be something like, it is not safe to be seen. It is not safe to be visible. It is not safe to make yourself vulnerable and seen by another. And not only did she create that result because of that belief, but the danger is what happens in your life, which is the result of your belief, will reinforce that belief. That's even worse, because not only will you create undesirable results, you will reinforce the belief. So then you're doomed to create the same thing over and over and over and over. And not only in one area of your life. I'm just checking that my mic is connected. No, I'm without a mic, but I guess it's the mic through the computer. Not only in one area, but across many other areas of your life. So she had that belief that it's unsafe to be seen. Guess what? She was coming to my class because she's starting a business. In what other areas do you see that belief manifesting? In her case, she was paralyzed. She could not bring herself to start being visible, to expand and create her business. She could not put herself to, she wanted to start a podcast, and there was, every time she was ready to start, that's from her own words, every time she was getting ready to start with her business, a crisis happened in her life which stopped her and made it impossible for her to start. So do you see how it works? That belief is so strong. The fear under is so strong that a crisis would happen no matter, even if you don't create it yourself. The way you are going to perceive it is going to be such that it's going to stop you in your tracks. You're going to stop acting towards your dream, whether it is about finding love, creating a business, whatever your dream is, losing weight, and you want to be all consumed and absorbed with the crisis. Why? Because under the surface, there is that huge fear that is derived from that belief that being seen is unsafe. So examine the kind of crisis you had so far in your life. What could be the belief that created them in the first place? And this is not to blame yourself or make yourself guilty. We have a brain that functions in such a way that we are on survival mode. There are filters. We are supposed to bring coherence between the outside and the inside. It's not about making ourselves wrong. It's about knowing how the brain works and using it to our advantage. It's about knowing how energy works, because when you stop at a floor on the energy elevator, at the floor where I am unsafe if I am seen, being seen is unsafe, making yourself vulnerable is unsafe, guess what you're going to be matched with? Guess what you're going to attract to you? Situations where you're going to be unsafe because you're seen, or situations when you won't even dare going there to be seen, or situations where you're going to make so many efforts to be seen but no results will happen. So once you know that, what could be the kind of belief that would have created the crisis? And how does it reinforce that belief that doesn't serve you, that limiting belief? Go back in your life, see the kind of crisis that you had when you finally decided to go for your dream, or even only where you started thinking about your dream. And what was the message behind it? What was the belief? And examine what other areas of your life did that belief transpire to? Did it affect your professional life as my client, my student? Or did it affect, maybe you were working on your business and it affected your family life? It affected your love life. You cannot bring yourself to dating because, oh my God, you're paralyzed by fear since it's so unsafe to be seen. Or you're paralyzed by the fear that love is painful and you don't want to suffer. Nobody wants to. The brain is designed to run away from suffering, from pain. What areas does it affect? That was really the reason for me to do that broadcast today, not that broadcast, but that podcast. Although I'm broadcasting again on Facebook Live. And if you want to be part of the podcast in the episodes to come, join us here, facebook.com/date like a French woman. What I want to summarize for today: examine your life crisis. 1, what is the symbol behind what happened? 2, what is the belief that could have created the crisis in the first place, or the belief that is reinforced by that crisis? And if you don't know, just guess. You won't fall far from the truth anyway, because on top of it all, we have layers in beliefs, but that's for another day. What is the symbol? What is the belief that corresponds to that crisis happening in your life and that crisis reinforcing in your life? And what other areas of your life does it affect? Where do you see the result of that limiting belief anywhere in your life? That is what we covered today. And again, if you're listening on iTunes, join us. If you're coming here on replay, say hi, leave a comment. I will see you next week. Have a fabulous week and use your brain in your advantage. Go and shine your life. Go and live your dream. Bye.